Then he had a bonehead kind of play early where he flipped it out like that, like in the first half. But then he did that play. I was like, what are we doing here? That was awful, awful.
Yeah, he was trying to be the hero, and it's like I've been thinking. My entire drive here I was thinking how I was going to phrase this because I talked to somebody, and I'm not going to say who, but I was talking to somebody and about this. And that person said it so perfectly. Dude, you're not that good. Like, you're not Tom Brady good. Like, you're not that level. You're not elite. Like, you're a decent quarterback, but you're not elite. You don't always have to be the hero. Just go out there and make a play. And, like, even on, we'll talk about him, I'm sure, until we're blue in the face of, because Sanchez kept saying it, over and over again of, hey, he can't take those hits. He's got to slide. Like, he can't get himself hurt. At the end of the day, I mean, I agree. Like, I don't want to see him get hurt, but just make a play. Because it's pretty clear that he's got to do stuff like that to make plays and to be successful. But my goodness, man. Like, just take the sack at that point.
Yeah, not only that, but then they'd show him on the sideline with some little back heat warmer or something because his, taking all those shots. I was like, man, at some point you'll learn not to do that and just throw the ball. Not like that. But you know what he's doing early when he got the pressure? He was throwing the ball on the ground. I'm like, that's it. That's how you do that. Just throw the ball on the ground, get it away from it. It's not intentional grounding. And do that. But man, it was just a tale of two games, and you're up 17-0. You're feeling good. Next thing you know, you lose 24-17 against a quarterback who played below average yesterday. So, now you're off feeling it's one of the worst losses this franchise has had because you think, oh, what's going on? You loving the quarterback. You signed all these great players, all this money. You got a new staff, new head coach, and everything. And you're 0-1. And I tell you what, man, the pressure's now on because you know what happens when you're 0-2? The odds to make the playoffs are astronomically low.
Well, I can tell you right now, they're going to be 0-2. If they play if they play like they did in the second half, they're going to be 0-2.
Bad.
And here's what pisses me off more than anything. The defense deserved a hell of a lot better than they got.
Yeah.
They gave up, basically they gave up 3 field goals. That's all they gave up.
Yeah, right?
All the touchdowns came on offensive mistakes and special teams.
Yep, that's right.
The defense played great for all practical purposes. They deserved to win that football game.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams looked terrible. He didn't look just like a rookie. He
wouldn't go terrible, but
he didn't look great.
He didn't. All the hype didn't add up to what we've seen for him.
I think he had like a 58 rating or something like that.
But you know what he has?
The win.
He's got to win,
right? So he breaks that streak since 2002, and David Carr, of the first pick, getting the win at quarterback. But that's what made me mad was the defense just deserved better. So. Going back to the pick, and the pick is what, is going to be on everybody's mind and what we're going to talk about. This was Brian Callahan when asked about the pick 6 after the game.
Pick 6, was Will trying to get it to somebody, or was he trying to get it out of bounds?
He was trying to throw it away. They brought a zero pressure, so we had no answer. We had a free guy. And so he saw the pressure, he recognized it, and he was trying to get it forward so he wouldn't get intentional grounding. But just got to be better than that. Got to be able to get the ball on the ground and not throw it to anybody. He was not trying to throw it to Tyler. He was trying to get it out of his hand and just got in a tough spot going to his left, and he couldn't get anything on it. But we can't have that. We can't have an interception for a touchdown when we're up 17-16 at midfield. In the way our defense was playing, that's just it's killer. It's killer.
All right, what do you make of that explanation?
Well, he's trying to throw it out of bounds. He's midfield.
Yeah.
You're trying to throw it out of bounds when you're falling down to that side. It's an awful, awful play that was going to take forever to live down unless they win a Super Bowl this year. I don't know. I'm trying to, why would you not to do that? You simply know not to do that. And it costs, he cost them the game. He cost them the game. Your quarterbacks get the highs. This guy's going to take the lows on this. And I had a hot take on Friday. I was kidding. We won all your hot takes.
Yeah.
And mine was by week 5, Mason Rudolph starting. You do that again? He's going to be starting. Terrible. So now you're 0-1. You got the Jets coming in here, the Packers after that. So, it's the NFL. Every week's going to be tough. But my goodness, they blew a huge opportunity yesterday in Chicago.
By the way, people will point out whenever you make a mistake. I said it was on CBS. It was on Fox, so my apologies. But
It
whatever.
was not on CBS.
It was on Fox. But
Yeah, that's all right.
But anyway, so you can text in 615-737-1025 or call. That's our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Your reaction, the Titans lose 24-17 to the Bears yesterday in Caleb Williams' debut. 4679 says he wasn't trying to be a hero. He was trying to avoid the sack. He already did in the first half. Still a dumb move. He wasn't trying to complete a pass on that. I mean,
Just take the sack.
right. When I say he was trying to be a hero, he was trying to be a hero the whole game. And I mean, look, there were some plays he made that I was like, hey man, all right, cool. You're gonna get your head knocked off, but you got the first down. Like, I appreciate the toughness, and like, I love the mindset there, but
Right.
you have to be smart. If you're gonna be the starting quarterback in this league and you want to play a long time and you want to be there for your team, you have to be smart with the plays you make, especially, I mean, look, they showed him sitting there with the thing on his back.
Right.
I mean, like, it was clear he was in a lot of pain, and
Right.
because of some of those hits he took. So that's what I mean. Like, you don't have to be a hero on every play. Now, if that's the end of the game and you're trying to win it for your team, okay, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But
You're right.
and that's my thing. And he's got to learn this sooner rather than later. Here's an observation I made. Now, the clip we played of Brian Callahan there, I mean, he did say he's got to be better, but here's my overall, and you have brought this up, but it really, really stood out to me yesterday. And it's his first game. He's a new head coach. I get it. He's going to grow into some things. But like you said it last week, that these coaches are too nice.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have been berating him.
He is way, 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 way the other way than Vrabel was.
Yeah.
And like, I get that, you go from kind of the hard ass to a little bit less of that, but this is almost too much less of that. And like, I wanted to see the coach mad, and I just felt like he was more flabbergasted than anything. Like
that's a good
that
point.
like when I watched the press conference live, and I made it a point to watch it live because I was in the moment and I wanted to see him in the moment. And he just kind of walked up there with this look on his face of like, what just happened, which is fine.
Right.
We're all thinking that, but it's like, I need the coach to be a little more pissed off.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been
And maybe
berating
that's
him
just
on the
not
sidelines.
his. Like, there are different ways. Like, if I'm doing that press conference, I would have been my answers would have been short. I would have been like, I'm not happy. Fine. Look at the film. I get it. But, I hate it when coaches are like, well, I need to look at the film. It's like, okay, you just lived the game. So, just give us that. Like, okay, fine. You can break the play down tomorrow. But
Yeah.
like, that's not what we're asking. Like, I just want your in the moment. I don't know. And again, it's his first game. They blew it. They absolutely blew it. And so I'm sure there was frustration and, whatever, but I feel like I got to see that emotion. Just be mad.
Yeah, it was. He becomes the first. There's all these stats what they did yesterday about Caleb Williams, and there are only two quarterbacks in modern NFL history that have attempted over 25 passes in their debut and threw for less than 100 yards. Two, Desmond Ridder and Caleb Williams. So yeah. I'm not going to say he's terrible, because I think Denard Wilson threw all these kind of different blitzes at him and all that stuff, which was great,
Yeah.
But the fact that you were going to let him beat you, but so many breakdowns all across the board, and it was just. And I thought the offensive line played decent. I mean, they didn't, you're bringing pressure.
They weren't great, but they weren't terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So now,
Rupchich is awful, but
how do you say his name?
I think it's Rupchich.
Something like
That's correct. Rupchich.
hit the dump button.
No, he's correct.
Something else last night. Yesterday,
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to get him in the blame, but I keep going to Levis and that play and how terrible it was. And then look, teams make runs in sports all the time. It's how you counteract that, how you can play. And the Titans did a terrible job. I mean, we'll have Brett Kern at 10, right? So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that block punt yesterday. I felt
Special teams was awful.
I felt like Stonehouse was taking. Now Brett knows far more than I do, but watching it, I felt there was no urgency from Stonehouse. I mean, you look up there and there's 10 guys on the line of scrimmage coming at you. I would think, hey, I got to get this punt off a little bit quicker. It's kind of walk in the park, and then there's a block and score and everything, and then they just let them get back. But man, if you watch a game at 17-0 and you went to the store and like, oh, it feels good about this, and saw they lost 24-17, there's got to be some kind of record where your quarterback throws for less than 100 yards and you blow a 17-point lead. There's got to be some kind of stat or something out there. They keep all these kind of stats, but at the end of the day, it was a terrible loss for the Titans, terrible loss for Callahan, and now they have to win on Sunday versus the Jets.
Yes, they do. 615-737-1025. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are at Greystone Golf Club today. Brent Peterson's annual golf tournament for the Predators. Just saw Martin Erat walk by, former Pred, but went to the event last night, Petey's party. It was fantastic, and really looking forward to getting things started with the Predators this season. But it's a full reaction Monday on the Titans. They lose 24-17. What do you think? Adam, hang on the line. You can call, you can text 615-737-1025. We're underway here today on a Reaction Monday. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Frustrating that the offensive rhythm never really showed up for any kind of sustained period of time.
Yeah, we had the one amazing, 19-play drive, which is so cool to be able to just matriculate the ball down the field and get that done. So we wanted to let that carry over into the second half, and it definitely didn't. So we just got to be more efficient on first and second down just so we can actually string some drives together and develop and feel that rhythm.
Quarterback Will Levis, after the loss yesterday to the Bears, 19 of 32, 127 yards, 1 touch, 2 picks. He was sacked 3 times, and that's how it went in the 24-17 loss. Chasing Big Joe, we're live today at Greystone Golf Club here in Dixon, Tennessee for the Predators Brent Peterson Golf Tournament as that raises money for Parkinson's research. Taking your reaction to the Titans loss, 615-737-1025. I mean, look, I will say this about Levis, you know, and listening to his comments. I mean, there was some ownership. I'll give him that. Like, he owned it, you know, like, hey, I made some mistakes. I got to play better, which in the moment it's like you want to hear that, but at the same time, you're like, I don't want to hear that. You know, that texter kind of got on me, and I'll admit this is kind of funny. Sonny said, y'all complained for years about Vrabel being pissy and giving short answers, and now you're complaining about the opposite. You can't have it both ways. Look, this is why it's Overreaction Monday.
Oh, absolutely
that's
it is.
what it is. Sonny, that's a good point. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just don't think people are mad. I mean, if you're a Titans fan, you should be mad about what happened yesterday. Why are you not mad?
I think
you should be mad.
I think there are some people that are mad, but this is what apathy is. Like, when you just kind of get used to it.
True.
Like, that's what's happened. And I hate that. I think that's not very good. Let's go to the phones. That's 615-737-1025. Adam in Portland, you will lead us off today. What's up, Adam?
Hey, bro. Hey, I'm not mad. I'm more confused than anything. Like, did you guys? I'll ask you. Did you guys, when it was 17-0, did you go game over? We won.
No.
I certainly didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like that at all, dude. You know what I felt like? I felt like, oh my God, we're one play. As soon as the punt was blocked, I went, we lost because it was dead. And then it came back, right? Like, and then it was like, okay, now we can't do anything. And I've already bagged on Levis, and I'll probably continue to do that. I won't make excuses for that guy anymore. Traylon Burks sucks. I don't want to see him anymore. Get him off the field. 3 touches, 3 yards. I've seen all I want to see from him. And as far as the coaching staff, because I feel like we're going to go as far as they take us, I feel like all he did for halftime adjustment was look at a folder that Vrabel left in the desk and was like, Coach better play that. That's all he did, dude. He sucks. Right now.
Adam, good point.
Thanks,
Adam, great point on Burks. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. He dropped the pass on the side over there. There was no urgency. There was no oomph from him, no passion. I'm done on Burks. You can trade him, do whatever. You can continue to be his cheerleader. I'm done. That was awful yesterday. So see you, pal.
All right, real quick. So I don't tweet a whole lot anymore because I'm just tired of it. Yeah. So this was me during the game. This was my X account during the game. First tweet. The old 3 and out for the two-tone. Caleb time. Riveting new offense so far. Pollard is going to be fun. All right, some good, some bad for the Titans in the first quarter. They lead 7-0 with a chance for more. I think all in all, you'll take that. All right. Then I quote tweeted Diana Rossini, Ryan Tannehill, all that stuff. What a dart to Ridley. Holy smokes. The Titans are in control, but can't take their foot off the gas. That's what I want to see. Can they keep this going in the second half? Pay attention to that one. That one's kind of important. The Titans are going to get a takeaway soon. I just feel it. I was wrong there. I swear if Levis doesn't learn to slide. And then here's the one. Oh, boy. Big Mo has shifted. That was the block punt.
Yeah.
After that. Then I said, watching week 1 of the NFL is like watching the first season of a show. You just have to grit your teeth and power through, man. Man, there's been some sloppy football. Then I said, if the Titans blow this, then after the pick, Levis, WTF are you doing, man? Then when it looked like it was over, I had some fun. And I said, quote, Tanny, sup, man? It's Rand. Click.
Yeah, right. You think Tannehill's come back for this nonsense? No.
No. So, and then I said, what a freaking meltdown by the Titans. Unacceptable, but believable. Just terrible. And that's the key. It was unacceptable, but it was believable. And that's the problem. The fact that I, as a Titans fan and somebody that's, watching this team in the capacity that I am, sits there and goes, yeah, like he said at 17-0, did you think like, oh yeah, we got this? No.
Right.
Now, like I was having fun with it. I was texting some Bears fans that were there. And, we were kind of going back and forth, but it was like and it's funny. So Ryan Porth was at the game, and he said that at 17-0, he was like, these fans spent 4 months thinking this was a non-conference game that they paid the Titans to come in here to lose.
Yeah,
But
right.
this was like Power 5 versus non-conference, and then of course it changed, as it went on. But I mean that's the emotions of a Titans fan. But 615-737-1025.
It is. Skylar's a good point on the text line. Watch the game with the Georgia Bulldogs fan. He reminds us Titans fans that Carson Beck looks pretty good, and the Titans could be picking first overall next year.
Yeah, here we go. That's already.
They won't be picking first because the Carolina Panthers might be the worst NFL football team, or NFL's redundant, NFL team that ever takes the field. They're awful. They'll get the number 1 pick again. Would they move on from Bryce Young? I would, because it's not good. But yeah, that's the talk, is like it's coming in. And I'm telling you, man, I was joking about Mason Rudolph, but we keep seeing more of this stuff, and they're going to pull the trigger. I mean, it was just terrible on that yesterday.
Let's go back to the phone. Sam wants to weigh in on the Titans. Sam, what's up? Hello, Sam. All right, Sam's gone. Jeff, what's up?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
I just want to tell you I did watch most of the game yesterday, and yeah, it was pretty bad. I know the one interception, he's trying to make a play, so I don't have a problem with that. But the other mistakes, the fumble and the block punt were pretty bad. So yeah, they need to get that stuff corrected. As far as benching him, I don't know about that. It's just one game, so I wouldn't get too much into it. But yeah, losing 17-0 lead is pretty bad, even on the road or at home. And Joe, I want to tell you that was a classic call of the Tennessee Tech when they scored with 16 seconds to go. His call was when they scored, he goes, good things always happen after midnight. That was a classic call by you. I mean, classic.
Well,
it was
appreciate you, Jeff.
It was one of the best. Everybody says there's nothing good at it, and that's what his exact words was at. And baby, you got that right, because if they'd have lost that football game, all the goodwill and everything that Mason had spat for the last 6 months would have been down the drain if Tech would have hung on and won that football game. Now, Ole Miss, they killed us this last week, but I'm hoping this week we get Western Saturday in that Ford Stadium. So, like I said, Joe, keep up them classic calls, buddy, and y'all hang in there. See y'all.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate
Jeff in the borough. Thank you very much. That was the game ended at 12:20 in the morning. He scored at 12:10. So I said, who says nothing good ever happens after midnight? So, but who says nothing good ever happens on Sunday at noon in Chicago? But,
well.
All right, so we did the thing about T'Andre Sweat, right? So if you look in the stats, he doesn't show up anywhere, but that's okay.
Yep.
Because he created, so that little positivity, him and Jeff created havoc in the middle. Look, the job of a defensive lineman is not to tackle. The job of the defensive lineman is to get pressure and get the blockers off your linebackers. And the Titans linebackers were pretty good yesterday. I mean, that was not a bad performance for them. Look, they gave up 9 points?
I'm not going to pick on the defense too much.
Not at all. So, I mean, they gave up 9 points. So Sweat caused disruption in the middle. So you're like, well, he didn't have any tackles or blah, blah, blah. That's okay. He caused that disruption and chaos in the middle and freed the linebackers to make plays. And I thought the defense did a really good job.
It's funny. This morning, everybody's going into the facility to work and everything. Well, Brian Callahan and the offense and the special teams, like the front gate wouldn't open for them, but Denard Wilson and the defense, they go right in. They get to get to do it. You got to make everybody else go around to the back.
Miss Amy's got a nice little breakfast spread for him sitting out there.
Like the offense, Wilt Levis walks in like, man, look at these eggs Benedict. No. You go in the other room. You guys get cereal. That's what you get.
What's in here?
This is for the defense. This is for Denard and the defense today.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work, but again, the defense I thought was just really good. I mean, they were active. They were across the field. The hooker played his tail off yesterday.
That sack that Landry had, like that's a coach's dream. That play.
It's a 19-yard loss, right? Is that the one?
Right. But do you even know what I'm talking about that led to the sack? They had 3 guys on Simmons. They sent 3 at Simmons, Simmons is going after him, and then Landry basically could walk up and just hug him and knock him down.
Oh, okay. So that was a different play then.
That was a great play.
What's the one where he spun around? Williams did like 7 times as a 19-yard sack. Was that?
Maybe it was that one.
Yeah.
I think it was Landry on the Simmons play, but they talked about it on the broadcast of Simmons was the catalyst for that whole thing.
7070 says, Jeff in the Borough, is that the ghost of Macho Man calling? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Call in and tell. I mean, we got love to hear from you. This is, we're your therapy here till 11 o'clock. Want to hear, your good thoughts, your bad thoughts. I mean, again, there's, after you talk about Levis and go on, but I thought Burks was terrible. I thought the line did well. There were moments J.C. Latham got kind of lost in what he was trying to do, but that's a rookie.
First game.
That's fine. Do all that. And look, on the defense side, you hit it right, Chase. I mean, there was a lot of positivity on that side. Caleb Williams didn't know what was going on for majority of that game, but my goodness, special teams let you down, and then Levis and that play. I mean, I can't get. I don't think I've ever seen that. And I tweeted during the game. I was like, he's Brett Favre 2.0. I'm telling you.
You called him Brett Favre Jr.
And you look, his second year, Brett Favre did the same things, but Brett Favre got out of that stuff and moved on. Ken Levis, I mean, he's got a hell of an arm. He's got a hell of a football knowledge, but you can't be doing that stuff. And he did it earlier in the game. I would be livid at him. Livid.
Here's my question for Titans fans. Let's just say for a second that this is kind of a reset and that this is basically his rookie year because you're going in, you got a new coaching staff, and so it's a complete reset. Can you handle that? Can you as a Titans fan handle that? I'm getting thumbs down. But can you basically handle that, hey, we talked about this. He's going to have Brett Favre's stats in his second year, basically his first year.
Yeah.
And does not be very good. The team's not going to be very good. But that Callahan's the answer at coach. They're going to get this figured out. It's just he's got to go through growing pains. Can you handle that? Because I think a majority of the fan base is going to say no.
You're right.
Like no, we've done this bleep enough.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
0989 says it was 17-0 when I left for church yesterday. So next week, I'm just going to stay till the game is over. Yes. Thank you. Please do that. Stay till the game is over. And here's the deal. Tonight, you get to watch the Jets on Monday Night Football play the 49ers, who the Titans play on Sunday. So you can do your you can do your own little scouting report tonight to see how it is. But again, that means the game on Sunday is just massively huge because you start 0-2, and there's that crazy stat like only 18% of the teams make the playoffs that start 0-2, and now you do. I'm trying to the winning the game. I mean, if you go back since '99, I got to look this up. How many times they started 1-0?
Man, I don't know. Like 99, they did. The next year they didn't. Didn't they have the rematch against Buffalo and they lost?
That's right.
01, I don't remember.
I know.
I mean, I'll look it up during the break. That's a great question. I'd love to know how.
Can they ever start? I mean, what's the best start there? I mean, I remember one year they went 08. They started out 10-0. Then Favre came in here and beat them with the Jets. I mean,
Favre beat them.
Some good stats that start out that way, but my goodness.
I'll look this up during the break because that's a fantastic question. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. We're live at Greystone Golf Club in Dixon for the Brent Peterson Golf Tournament. Dr. Crane is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios. Home with a $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. It's Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 1025, 1063 The Game.
So much about the playmakers that you brought in outside of Tony. You didn't really get anything big from any of them.
No, we had some shots to Calvin that the one Will couldn't get enough on the ball. We had him beat, but it was just hard. It was hard to get, we're in get back on track and trying to generate, play action explosives down the field and some go balls. It's just, we're in a spot where they're waiting for those types of things. And so that's frustrating. So we could not play offense the way we wanted to today, and then led to some pretty significant struggles.
Brian Callahan yesterday after the loss, 24-17, 615-737-1025.
Oh, the text line, my goodness.
I'm looking through the seasons here of the Titans. So I'm at 2008. At that point, as the Titans, they're 6-4 in the opener.
Wow, they won 6 games in the opener?
Yeah, that's to 2008. I have a feeling it's going to change as we get into some Whisenhunt years.
Oh, yeah. Well, he beat Kansas City in 2014, the opening game.
2009, they lost to Pittsburgh in overtime, so that's 6-5. 2010, they beat the Raiders, so 7-5.
That was at Nissan. That was hotter than Hades that day.
I remember that game. So that would have been 2010. That was Munchak's first year, right?
It was not. It was Fisher's last year.
Yeah. 2011, they lost to the Jags, so 7-6.
All right.
This is slow, but
That's okay.
You get the idea.
Yeah, I know 16 they lost to the Vikings. 18, did they lose to Miami in that game that took 12 hours? I don't remember. It's been up and down with this football team for so long.
It has been. 615-737-1025. Tony wants to weigh in. What's up, Tony?
Hey, fellas. Everybody doing all right?
Yeah, we're good.
Right, man. You?
I'm doing good, man. My wife likes me again today.
Well, that's good to hear.
Did you get paid?
Huh?
Did you get paid?
I wish. I'm going to say this, man. I know I'll catch a lot of flack behind it. But we never should have got rid of Malik Willis. We shouldn't have.
Are you Malik's dad?
Well, no. When we looked at the preseason games and they was competing out there, that boy had a young man had a great preseason.
Tony, let me cut you off there, and I love you, man, but don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. He was doing it against third-team guys who are no longer in the National Football League. All right? He was doing it's not first-level guys. We've seen Willis against first-level guys. He's not good. The Packers are getting ready to see how Malik Willis is not any good. Now, look, I hope Malik Willis throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. It ain't going to happen. And the Packers are about to find that out this week, and they come to town next week. He was doing it against third-teamers. So I love your passion for him. It's just not there. And it wouldn't have happened yesterday in that game either.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Tony. Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. Sorry. Look, Malik Willis would not have been the answer. No. And look, we're not saying after this one game to just throw Will Levis away.
But close.
But it was a terrible – it was not a good game for him. It just wasn't.
No.
He made mistakes. And, I'm one of those people that, all right, you make mistakes, you learn from them, you move on. But my concern is how many of those mistakes, will he actually learn from? Like they're like not sliding, taking the big hits, trying to play hero ball, whether you're throwing it away or not. Is that just how he's wired? I mean, these were some things that he did at Kentucky that everybody was concerned about. So is this stuff going to magically go away? I don't know. I mean, that's my thing.
I'm with you, man. You look at all that. They're up 17-0 yesterday, and you're feeling one guy wrote in and he's like, Joe, I remember last week you talked about not giving up fantasy football for your mental health. He's like, I think I give up the Titans in real life for my mental health. And I'm with you, man. 17-0, and then the collapse. But it's kind of like in the back of our mind, we thought this would happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
right.
terrible.
That's why there's just not the surprise. 5353 says, what choice do we have? New staff has their own ideas in regards to, kind of giving Levis this year. 5745 Levis blows, and yesterday proved it for all. Here's my thing. There is going to be today. I feel like you and I are upset. We're confused. We're all the things. We're having the conversation. Jared is going to be done with Levis. Like, I can tell you that right now. Like, I haven't seen his grid. I don't know. Like, I just know that's what he's going to be.
Right.
I think the midday show, Derek's going to give his analysis. Willie and Adam are going to give theirs. Probably more of a, hey, it's 1 week. It's a different discussion. That's the gamut of emotions you're going to get today. Robbie and Joe were kind of the same way. It's like you're just going to be all over the place. That's fine. But are the problems that we saw yesterday, can they be corrected? And that's the concern. I think the call, people saying like I'm more confused than anything. Adam saying I'm more confused than anything.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. That's, I think, how we all feel right now. I'm just confused. Like, what is this team? Will wants to weigh in on the Titans loss. Will, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Just quick question. Who do y'all think we're going to pick with our top 5 pick next year for quarterback?
Well, a lot of mocks say Shadur Sanders. So
Carson Beck or whoever.
No,
somebody. No. Jackson Dart.
I'll take Jackson Dart, maybe yours. I don't know, but I'm already trying to figure that out right now.
But, we shouldn't have to do that. They spent all this money. They got this great offense now. They're trying to rebuild the defense. It shouldn't be this way, Will. We shouldn't have to sit there and go, you're up 17-0. Teron Davenport, here's a tweet he put out yesterday. The Bears are the first team in NFL history to win a game in which they trailed by at least 17 points and had less than 150 total yards. That is embarrassing. That's embarrassing, Will, and I feel your pain, brother.
Yeah,
yep.
It was tough. It was tough.
Appreciate the call, Will. Thank you.
But make sure you get your PSLs in, folks.
Yeah.
Make sure that's the deadline's coming up.
Gary wants to weigh in on Will Levis. Gary, what's up?
Hey, it's great to be a Steeler fan today. Justin Fields played a great game. As far as Will Levis, I mean, if you don't bench him now and try to salvage this season, then you seriously, Mason Rudolph was the best quarterback the last 3 games of last year. He would have stood in the pocket, not ran to the left where the guy was blocking the guy out into him. You guys would be 1-0 with Mason, and it's just a shame that you guys are sticking with this mayonnaise-eating guy because it just doesn't make no sense. It blows my mind. He's horrible. He's horrible. Everybody in Tennessee knows it. If you want to get your first pick, keep him in. If you want to salvage the season, you got a great defense. Mason Rudolph stands in a pocket. Watch his highlights from the last 3 games of last year. He's a professional quarterback. He's tall. He had a great camp. Like, give the guy a chance. He was better than Pickett and Trubisky last year. He's way better than Will Levis this year.
Hold on, Gary. Gary, were you happy that Russell Wilson did not play yesterday?
I didn't really care, but I was proud of Justin Fields that he controlled that game. He threw for 150 yards, ran for 50, had a bomb to Pickett they called offensive interference, which was a joke. Watts would have had 3 sacks if the officiating wasn't a joke. I am happy they didn't play him because it gave Fields like justice. You know what I mean? I'm not that bad. I was in a sorry situation, kind of like the Titans have a mentality of losing. The Steelers have a mentality of winning. Pittsburgh, we could be 0-5 still thinking we're winning a Super Bowl. You guys could be 5-0 knowing something bad's going to happen and we're going to blow it.
But you know what, Gary, that's from the top down. That's the way it's been with the Steelers and their ownership. From the top down, they expect to win. And you're exactly right. That's a mindset every team should have going in there. As Chase and I were talking about, when they're up 17-0, Barry Tropps was there earlier. We were talking about the game, and I said, Coach, it's like being up 3-0 in hockey in the first period. You know it's not good, and so it's just that's the mindset Titans fans have throughout the years. You're up 17-0. You know it's going to happen, and it happened.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch it, but I watched the highlights, and that goofy play he did. He had a nice pocket. He had a pocket that he ran out to get into trouble. Like, I don't understand why they based this whole team on him. Like, Tannehill's definitely better. You didn't give him nothing. You got a good defense. Like, do you want to just go 0-10 and get the first pick, or do you want to try to fight for the playoffs? Do you want to fight?
Here's my question for you, Gary. Like, if Mason Rudolph is so great, why isn't he on your team now?
Ooh,
Like, that's
It's
my
a great question, and I'll tell you why. Because, for one, he beat out Pickens and Trubisky at both training camps. All the receivers said he's throwing dimes. You don't think that ever happens in life where you're better than the guy at your job, but you get fired because the other guy likes the boss, or the boss likes the other guy? That's called life. Give Mason Rudolph a chance. And you know why he's good? Because Jared, dude, who knows nothing about football, thinks he stinks. So that should say he's good right there.
But Gary, you listen, and that's what we love you for. Gary, your assignment next week, I want you to watch the entire Titans game versus the Jets and call in next Monday. No excuses, Gary.
If they're not on the same time as the Steelers, I will.
Damn it, Gary, you will tape it and you'll call in.
All right.
That's what you'll do, Gary.
And gold, though, so this is our year, guys.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate the call.
Talking to you. Bye-bye.
Chase with the line of the year.
Look,
if Mason Rudolph was so good, why is he not? Right. I mean, Gary.
I think the thing about Mason, look, number one, Will Levis is not getting benched today.
No.
He shouldn't get benched today. He had a crappy game yesterday. Hopefully he can rebound from that and move on. But if you're already going, like, could you imagine, this is the overreaction to football fans. Can you imagine if all of us basically got fired after one day of work? The unemployment rate in this country would be off the charts.
Right.
If that's how we lived our normal life based on how a football fan thinks. Like, guy has one bad game. This guy stinks. Get rid of him. You dropped a drink at your job at work. You're done. Get out.
Yeah, Greg Pokes built 7 cups of coffee on his laptop in 3 years. He'd be fired in a heartbeat. No, I'm with you.
None of
on
us
that.
would have made it.
I'm with you. You know, we would love to send them better to come out and Levis this week to be on fire versus the Jets, but now it's like, what's going to happen? I mean, you're on the edge of the seat. It shouldn't be on the edge of your seat when your quarterback takes the ball like that all the time. Just really, really bad. And now, look, nothing you can do about it now. Now you work for the Jets. You got to win this game on Sunday. Not only is it the next game, but my goodness, you don't want to go 0-2. You're going to also, real quick, I know when we come back, but the whole division lost except for Houston. Yeah. So you had a great opportunity to be up there. Now, you're already behind Houston at 0-1.
It's 70-70. Waking up as a Titans fan today is the equivalent to waking up to a fly swatter to the nuts. That's a good way to put it.
Swatter.
We'll continue to take your reaction. Y'all are great. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Nashville's best deal this week is 312 Pizza Company in Germantown. 312 Pizza Company serves the best pizza in town. It is quite good, as well as Chicago-style eats like Chicago dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and more. Check them out at 371 Monroe Street in Germantown, or order takeout online at 312pizzaco.com. Head to theGameNashville.com/deals to get half off a $30 gift card to 312 Pizza Company while supplies last.
Like a lot of the conversation with Will in preseason was knowing when not to risk things, to just go to the next play.
Yep.
It seemed like he was doing that for the first half, but where do you feel like that got away, and is it disappointing to see that?
Well, I mean, I think it's a fine. It's a balance, and there was some things that the sack fumble, he didn't see it. It wasn't necessarily that he was being reckless. He was trying to get the ball off. The interception, everything he said was right, and it's just you just can't put the ball in harm's way in that point. So there's things he's got to learn from. He's still a young player, and he's got to learn in the game moments. This is when it happens. It's one thing to do in practice, but when you're in a game and the bullets are flying, it makes it a little bit more challenging. So he's got room to improve, as do I, to help him in some of the play calling. So that's best I can answer that.
Brian Callahan yesterday after the loss, 24-17 to the Bears. Chase and Big Joe. Greystone Golf Club today, Brent Peterson's annual golf tournament. Seeing, some Preds players will be out here this afternoon. Some former players playing this morning. Really cool to see. But taking your reaction, and your reaction has been fantastic. Honestly, this is the therapy that we need of just you all and how you react. Like 7002 said, or Trevor says, these Vols fans are absolute clowns. They'll be praising Levis by week 10. Go call Feinbaum and hoot and holler and leave the NFL talk to the people that actually care about it.
Ouch! But we got some positivity. Read Justin from Greenbrier. A little positivity today for you on Monday.
On the good news front, Vols and Commodores look great, and hockey starts in a week.
There you go.
Yep.
So look forward to do that. But meanwhile, we're going to sit here and
how about the Vols being 7th?
It's pretty good. Look, that defense for Tennessee is something nobody talked about because it was Nico.
Yeah.
My God, that defense for the Vols. And again, I don't know how great NC State is, or they deserving the top 20. I don't know, but we'll know a lot about the Vols in 12 days.
Yep.
Arkansas didn't look half bad versus Oklahoma State. So we'll see what happens. There's plenty of football to be played. Now for Vanderbilt, they got to go take on Georgia State, which to me is, you've heard me rant about, this Vanderbilt team should not go on the road to a G5 school and play, which is so asinine. Whoever made that decision over there. Ugh. But anyway, go down, get the victory. Vanderbilt could start off 3-0. Kentucky sucks, so you got to play them soon. Missouri's really good. So for Vanderbilt, the early part of the schedule looks good. South Carolina steamrolled over Kentucky. And Stoops, he had some quote like, well, what happened? What can we do to get better? And Stoops has basically said, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see on that.
God.
On Will Levis, Robert says, it hasn't been just one day. It's over half a season to look at. Yes, but I will give a little, not all, but a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because the offense has now changed. So, I mean, I hear y'all. Like, I do. And it's okay. Again, today, it's okay. It's okay. Be pissed off. That's fine. You want to bench him, bench him. That's not going to happen. And I do think to some extent, and if he goes out next week and balls out and they beat the Jets, then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, Will Levis MVP, let's go."
But that's why we love football.
That's what we do, right?
That's what drives us crazy. So if you can go out, and you're gonna go, tit for tat with Aaron Rodgers next Sunday, it's gonna be something to see, But the Titans, look, the Jets have a game tonight in San Francisco. By the time they get back home tomorrow, it's gonna be Tuesday morning. So you're already losing almost 2 days of preparation for this game. They're going to fly in here on Saturday, play Sunday. It all favors the Titans on Sunday. If the defense can keep doing what they're doing, there are some chances. You just can't have a breakdown of special teams. Brett Kern joins us at 10 o'clock, so we'll talk to him about that. And overall, football's a 60-minute game and up 17-0, and that happens. But it all goes back to one play. The worst play we've ever seen from a Titans quarterback ever. And not Mettenberger, God, I put him in the same vein with Mettenberger. Levis did that. It cannot happen in the National Football. Would Joe Montana ever done that? Would he have ever done that? Damn you, Will Levis! Sorry, folks. No, none of the great quarterbacks or even good quarterbacks would have done that. That was just an awful, awful play. And you said it earlier. It's a guy trying to do too much that doesn't need to do too much, if that makes sense. And that's what he was doing.
615-737-1025. Let's squeeze in a couple more calls before Brett Kern. Larry in Portland. What's up, Larry?
Holy cow, did you guys just use Joe Montana and Will Levis in the same sentence? Slow your roll there.
That was Joe Dubin. That was not you guys. That was Joe Dubin.
Hey, y'all compared him earlier to Brett Favre 2.0.
Yes.
More like Jake Locker 2.0. Throw it a mile, don't know where it's going. Or my nephew's golf game, he can hit it a mile, but he don't know where it's going either.
No, I'm just saying, go back and look at Brett Favre in his second year with the Packers was 93, and he did things like that. He had the rocket arm, made stupid mistakes, but he moved things forward. And so Levis has a lot of those same qualities: and fiery, good arm, takes off running down the field. Trying to get the first. I see that in both of those guys, but you can't make the play like you did. You just can't do it.
I don't disagree with this defense. We just need a good quarterback. We don't need nobody to be Joe Montana.
Okay. Appreciate the call, Larry. Josh, what's up?
Hey, guys. I'd like to look at this. I'd like to, in the words of Missy Elliott, flip it and reverse it. Rather than talking about how bad Levis is, let's compare. I'm struggling to think of a worse performance by starting Titans quarterback than what I saw yesterday. And you got to keep the context and how great the defense was playing. The fact that Levis wasn't playing from behind, there was no need for that hero ball stuff.
Yep.
I'm having to go back to VY. Can you guys think of a worse performance by a Titans quarterback?
No,
not
like that.
Thanks, Josh. No, not like that. Look, he sucked yesterday. Ricky's messing with me and saying that I'm coddling him. I'm not coddling him. Look, he sucked yesterday. There's no other way to put it. He blew the game for them.
But if you take that, I hate doing this. I don't. If you take the one play away, we're talking something completely different now.
Yeah, but even before that, even the fact that they had a 17-0 lead, the offense didn't look great.
No, and also
he didn't look great.
I got a bone to pick real quick. He threw that little crossing route to Spears. It was like 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
Why your receivers? And I know Derek was here, and I'm going to talk to him later on about this. But it's always boggled my mind. If you need 3 yards, why are you running 2 yards? Why are you not running 4? Why are you not cognizant of where the chains are? And he didn't get the first down. Somebody's like, he got that. No, he didn't get the first down. So if it's 3rd and 3, run a 4-yard route. It always blows my mind that they don't do that. So there were other things that happened yesterday that kind of stymied the Titans. Otherwise, they lost the game, and now you move on.
Next, Ricky's going to tell me to go hug somebody. All right, Brett Kern is going to join us coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on the loss yesterday, including he has done a full breakdown of the block punt, what happened there. Do that next here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Stonehouse back deep to our left. DeAndre Carter. Pressure blocked on the ground. Picked up to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone for the touchdown on the block punt by the Bears.
Yeah, that's how it sounded on Fox Sports. Chasing Big Joe, hour number 2. And it was at that moment, for those of you that watch, that like Star Trek like me, the scene of Mr. Data as the Enterprise is crashing where he goes, oh, bleep. That's what I said after that block punt. That's how I felt.
Crazy analogy.
You know who? Jared will get that analogy. That's how I felt.
Oh, man.
We're live at Greystone Golf Club today, the Brent Peterson Golf Tournament for the Preds Foundation and PD for Parkinson's. We say hello now to former Titans punter Brett Kern. And Brett, I know you've had those situations in your career like Stonehouse had yesterday, and you probably thought what I actually said out loud when it happened in those situations. But what's up? What did you see on that play?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people at Greystone right now hitting that little white thing as hard as they can after yesterday. So, taking out their frustration and stress. But, yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, they were in a little 8-man rush and they tried to window dress, you know, the 2 4s, which, you know, the PP and Morgan Cox are responsible for the 4s. Did like a little shove loop to kind of take the eyes, you know, of everybody else, because the shove loop is really, really hard to protect, especially on Morgan. You got a guy coming down, pretty much leaves him defenseless. But in this case, you know, Dr. Gibby, unfortunately, you know, his 3 was straight up over him, and Gibby just didn't set. He didn't kick slide back. You know, you kick slide 2 steps back to get your depth. That way you can get in front of your man if he tries any type of move or anything like that. And unfortunately, Gibby just didn't set, and the guy got on his outside peck, won the leverage. And, you know, Stonehouse I think it was about a 1.25 handling time, about a 2.0, you know, 2.05 get off, which for me, I was at about a 2.02 to 2.03, you know, pretty consistently throughout my career. And so it wasn't on him. And I just feel for him because, you know, really his last 7 punts or so, you know, he's had 3 of them blocked. And that's just really tough mentally. I texted him after the game. I said, you know, just keep playing, man. Like, you had a really good game, first game back, to come back from an injury like that. And, you know, I remember, I think it was 2018 or somewhere in there where we went to Miami. They returned a punt for a touchdown. The next week we go to Houston, return a punt for a touchdown back-to-back weeks. And, you know, that just gets in your head because you're thinking, golly, I'm back there. Is this punt going to get returned? I feel like that could be perfect. So he's a strong kid. He'll battle through it. And, you know, he's still the weapon that he'll always be.
Brett, when you're back there, can you feel when they're coming at you? I know that's kind of a stupid kind of question, but when you see 8, 9 guys at the line of scrimmage, I mean, what does that do? Like, oh my God, I got to hurry up, or just do as I normally do? What goes through your mind when you know they're coming after you?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot starts throughout the week, you know, just in your film study, your film prep. You know, some teams love the window dress. You know, they you know, even the first one that Chicago did, right? They brought in the gunner to make it look like they were going to do a 9-man rush, and then somebody from the box pops out, you know, to go cover that gunner out there. So a lot of window dressing. Some teams window dress and never rush. You know, Kansas City, you know, Dave Tobe is notorious of doubling your gunners. So there's only a 6-man box, which is the reason why in that ASU championship game we ran that fake, you know, through to Amani Hooker, because we had the numbers, right? And so you're open to fakes like that when you double gunners a lot. And then there's some teams, you know, New Orleans, you know, last year, Rizzi, I mean, that guy brings the house. He'll bring a 9-man box, 10-man rush. Like he doesn't care, right? And so he's pretty much saying, I'm going to outnumber you. Good luck trying to block all these guys, right? So, you know, you got your film prep throughout the week, and you kind of know going forward as you're practicing, hey, these guys love to bring it. These guys tend to bring it to my kick side, right? My kick leg. Some do here, some do it to set up returns. And, but you know, my thing was you just try to stay consistent in your operation, your get off. And you know, if you keep that going, then you got to trust the guys in front of you, right? They're professionals too. They're good at what they do. And sometimes guys make mistakes, and some mistakes are worse than others.
Brett Kern is with us. So speaking of mistakes, I think we all watched Will yesterday, and there were definitely some mistakes, and there were some that were costly that, you know, ended up, I think, losing them the game. But with all that said, when you watch that, and then you guys go in the locker room and you kind of have your time and you're all talking, what are those conversations like? Because obviously, you don't want to throw it all on him. It's a team game. But
Right.
what are the conversations like with the quarterback, and also how can you help build him back up where he can have a rebound the next week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, Will went around to everybody, especially on that defensive side, and just thank them for their effort, because the defense, I mean, to give up 148, net yards against, that offense on paper, right? Because I think if you take away Will's mistake on that interception, and, the first half, he was, if it wasn't there, he's throwing it in the dirt. It was, just a little bit more composed. And then to me, I think Dylan Radin's getting hurt. You notice that Chicago started bringing a lot more pressure after that. And for some reason, I think Will just felt like he had to make some plays, because you always reserve the right to punt, right? Just throw the ball away. Ball's going to be on the 35. There's a really good chance Stonehouse is probably going to hit a touchback with his leg and being able to flip the field. And then now you got to have Chicago drive 80 yards, right? So is this something that, with him trying to make a play, is this just a one-off? Is this just, is this tendencies for him? It's kind of like that person that you're speeding, right? And you drive by the cop and it's like, oh, I'm okay. And then all of a sudden, the one time you get burned, you get pulled over for the ticket, right? Is this the time where it's like, okay, wait a second, I can't make these plays because it just cost my team the game, right? And hit the other thing too, like if you take away that pick, like who played better? Will or Caleb? Because Caleb, first start for him did not look like your first round pick.
Yeah,
they're going to the Super Bowl, right? And so Will, it's his 10th start and his first start under a new coordinator. So it's going to take time, but I'm sure he probably went around to the defense, told them, hey, I'm sorry, like you guys played an unbelievable game. Like let's go get it next week. And guys are encouraging him. That locker room seems too tight for guys just to be pointing fingers already after week one.
Good point. Talking to former Titans punter Brett Kern. Brett, back to the block punt. When that happened, did you jump off your couch? I mean, what was your reaction? You're just like, oh no. Was that what through your mind?
I texted him right away. So.
Damn you, Chase. Leave him alone.
My first reaction was I was just hoping that Stonehouse was okay. Just knowing mentally probably what he's going through. Last year getting, obviously his season ending because of a block punt. And so to start the season, really two years in a row now with, the opening week and, with the block punt. So, like we were talking about last week, special teams, it made a difference in some of these games. And unfortunately, for the Titans, giving up a 66-yard kickoff return, the block punt, they had two that went against them, which is unfortunate. That's really, really hard to overcome. And I know statistically, if you give up a block punt and it's returned for a touchdown, your chances of winning the game are only around 12, 13%. But they still had the chance to do it, right? And that's the thing. And so you can glass half full, glass half empty. Like for me, it's week one. You should have won the game, right? And I hope Will can learn from, hey, you know what? Just take the sack. Just go down, take it. You reserve the right to punt. Get rid of it. Let's live to fight another day, right? And you had it, and you could have stolen on the road, especially in the opener. But, is what it is. And special teams just needs to pick it up and be better next week.
So if you're the Jets and you're looking at what happened to break down the punts yesterday, what are you looking at? I mean, what would you work on in practice this week so that doesn't happen again, Brett?
I mean, to me, it's just Gibby, working on his technique. That's all. It's not like they got out schemed or, anything that really happened that you're like, golly, how do we fix this? You're scratching your head. I mean, it's just a technique thing, right? And that's something that you can work on. And I promise you, Gibby's, if my guess is they're probably in workouts right now, and Gibby's probably going straight out to the field with a bag and working on kick slides. So it's something that's very fixable. Other than that, protection looked great, right? And so it's just a technique thing that I know he can fix.
Talking to Brett Kern, former Titans punter, here on the program. So you mentioned the defense, and that's the hard part. Like when you see one side of the ball, I mean, they weren't perfect. I mean, they're going to make mistakes too, but the defense did their job. I mean, they gave up 3 field goals, 9 points, something like that. So what are those moments like when you just like things weren't good on teams, things weren't good on offense? You look at the defense, they did their job. I mean, is that just, are you apologizing or are they hanging with you? Like, what are those conversations like?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that locker room's too tight. That group's too close. You got, too many veterans to start pointing fingers and whatnot. And, I think guys realize, we're there. We should have won it. And what can we do to the next time we're in this situation? How can we fix what we did, right? Obviously, Will, looking at the film and realizing I can't underhand or throw whatever he did, right, to get rid of it and to not get that thing out of bounds. That's fixable, right? So I think it's just a matter of looking at the mistakes and being able to correct them. And, it's going to be a great opportunity to play the Jets next week in the opener. I mean, it's not easy going out Monday Night Football. You're in, a 3-hour time change. You're going to get back, Tuesday morning, bright and early. Probably some of these guys are going to get off the plane, rush home, and take their kids to school without sleeping. And then you got to get back on the road to come down here for our opener, it's going to be crazy, right? So I think you just, like I said, look at the film, you correct it. Defense is like, hey, we got you. We can go do this again because this is what we hang our hat on. This is how we're going to play. 148 yards total to this team that on paper, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, this is what we did to them. We made Caleb feel extremely uncomfortable. Longest pass was 13 yards. I can't tell you how many passes were batted down, right? That maybe next week one of those passes turns into now an interception that we get, right? How many balls were batted up and they're just up there that, hopefully you can get. And then Caleb took a 19-yard loss on a sack that took him out of field goal range, right? Just totally stopped the drive. So unfortunately that mistake by Caleb wasn't as costly as what Will was, but both of them overthrew, their receivers, DJ Moore, Will had Calvin Ridley open in the end zone. Had his man beat twice. He just overthrew him both times. Well, one he underthrew, the other one he overthrew. But it's growing pains of having young quarterbacks. Like I said, Will's in his 10th game. Caleb's in his first, and that's just what you're going to see. Not everybody can be Patrick Mahomes and wait 3 years on the bench and come off and be rip roaring ready to go. So that's just what it is. It's growing pains. You just hope that they can learn from their mistakes and have a short-term memory and move on and get ready for the Jets.
So you played for up until Brian Callahan, you played for every coach that the Titans had. So you went through, you got there with Jeff Fisher and then Munch's first game, Whisenhunt, Vrabel, Malarkey. It's one game. It's the first game, especially as a rookie head coach. They have to learn and kind of get the feel of how it goes. Was there ever times where, especially as you kind of grew into a leadership role, that, maybe if you were asked, that you kind of gave advice to the head coach of like, hey, maybe do this, or I saw this, or what were those conversations like, or did they happen at all?
No, I didn't have any, conversations with, I really didn't even know what the offense, I understood concepts and all that kind of stuff, but play calling and all that, I had no idea what was going on. So, a lot of times on a Monday, you come back in, especially for me with a special teams coordinator, you just sit down, you watch the film, and then as years, like I'm sure Morgan, and Nick, obviously those guys being in years 15, 16, the veterans that they are, they could probably sit down with Colt, and they just watch the film together and, hey, what do you think? What did you see? Anything like that, just to go through the game together. So that does happen. I'm sure we'll sit down with Brian and the guys and just talk about, hey man, when you saw this, what did you feel? What were you thinking? And just go through his mind, mentally, just to see what he was thinking. And if there's any way that Brian and his staff can say, okay, hey, we're in this situation. Let's stay away from these sets of play calls, right? Let's not get in this formation. Let's not do this, right? He feels more comfortable, maybe with screens, maybe with play actions, whatever it might be, than a 3-step or 7-step drop back, right? And so I'm sure there's a ton of communication that you go through because everybody's learning, right? Preseason, like I said, it's great. I thought they played well in the preseason, but it's not the regular season where the real bullets are flying, starters are playing. Like I said, a guy goes down injured, your starting guard, and you bring in a backup, and all of a sudden, hey, it's time to bring the house, right? And I'm sure Will saw some blitzes, some pressures in that line together that they've never seen before, right? So today's just a day you go in, you watch the film, you pick each other's brains, and you go through the process of trying to get better and maybe what he felt he was comfortable with and maybe things that you didn't feel comfortable with, and then you install that into the game plan for the Jets.
Brett, you did such a great job in the National Football League. You're one of the best punters who ever played. And, you're great for flipping the field with the Titans. And I got to think not every punt went perfectly. Not every snap went perfectly. But I got to ask, did you ever climb? Hey, why didn't you do this or do that? Did you ever do that?
I can honestly say no. I was not. My thinking is, I would maybe come over to a guy and be like, hey man, what happened? Right? Because in my shoes, the Lord's blessed me with the ability to be able to punt a football, right? I couldn't snap, right? I couldn't play a gunner. I couldn't play right wing. So I'm not going to come after somebody and tell them how to do their job when I've never done it before, right? That was just kind of my philosophy. I kind of usually waited. If something did happen, I would kind of wait a couple plays, let everybody kind of cool down. And then I'd go over and be like, hey, man, I just want to, I felt some pressure, from that right side. What happened with your guy? Like, you want to go watch the film? And just kind of approach it in a way where I'm not attacking them or anything like that. So, if I was trying to down a punt inside the 5 and, I remember one time Dane Crookshank, made a great job, beating his jammer, got down there, and his foot was on the goal line. So now he's a part of, the end zone. And, he got the ball. We would have had it on the 2, right, instead of, a touchback. And so was I mad? Absolutely. I mean, I felt like I wanted to go over to the sidelines and slam my helmet because it just, it was great execution. But I didn't. I just waited, came over to him and said, hey, man, what happened? And he's like, man, I lost track of where I was at, right? I thought I was on the 2, but it was the goal line. Okay, man, cool. You're good, right? So, I never really got on anybody. There were times I probably wanted to, but I just decided to take the route of just kind of letting everybody cool down a little bit and then kind of having more of a normal conversation, just to see what was going on.
Did you? And I know it's a little bit different because you're focused on your thing, but there were a couple of shots of Will yesterday, and he's on the sideline, and you can tell he's animated, and he's not necessarily mad, but he's trying to, motivate his guys. You see it on defense of guys react in a different way. Did you like that though? Like seeing that on the sideline of you have that one guy that he's going to be fiery, he's going to yell, he's going to scream, and then you see how the guys react. I mean, did you enjoy seeing that when you played?
Well, I mean, it just shows that he cares. I mean, I'd rather have that than a guy just go over, sit on the bench, throw an iPad down and just sit there. So, I mean, he cares, right? I know he's trying to lead this team and he's growing, like he's trying to figure it out, right? Like I said, it's his 10th start, really his first opener, his first opening game start, which is a lot. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of expectations on him. And he cares. And so he's just trying to motivate the guys, figure it out. And I think as he grows, as the season progresses, he's going to learn what to do and what not to do. And so whatever he feels comfortable with, as far as challenging the guys and managing his emotions, right? It's going to take time. And I understand people want results right now. And I get it. You're in the NFL, results should happen right now, but with quarterbacks, I think it's different. It's harder, right? The guys that have sat behind guys, I think Tom Brady said, these guys need to sit and they need to take their time to get in, right? Tom was able to sit. Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, these guys were able to sit behind other quarterbacks and just watch, not everybody has that luxury. And a lot of guys are thrown into the fire and you hope that what comes out is that pure refined gold. And in most cases, it's not. You're right. There's definitely a lot of quarterbacks that don't come out as that pure, that pure gold that comes out of the fire. So I think it's just a growing process for him. And, each week you just hope that he takes that game and the mistakes that he made and he just learns from them and then he builds upon them week by week.
Yeah, for sure. Brett, good stuff as always. We appreciate it. Hopefully we're talking about a win next week, but we will see.
All right. Enjoy the golf course.
No, we will. It's beautiful out here for sure. Brett Kern, former Titans punter, joining us on the show. He'll join us every Monday at 10 o'clock for his full breakdown of the Titans game. We'll get back to your reaction at 615-737-1025. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. It's Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 1025-1063 The Game.
3rd down and 6. Here they come. Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up. Flings it ahead. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead on another defensive play.
And Levis just falls right into his lap. Right there, you cannot make a bad play worse. And here they go, going for 2. Look at the Bears coming out. Offense ready to go. But that's a cardinal sin right there for Will Levis.
Sorry. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Monday. And yes, that was the pick 6, the dagger. What was the best part?
Sanchez says, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Like at the beginning when he's falling, he's like, "Oh no." And he does that, and you see what happens after that. And so you go on. It's just the thing we're going to talk about. I mean, that's the instrumental play in the game. We'll talk about that over and over again until they get a win. They put them behind them. But right now, man, it's just the more you see that play, the more you hear that, you're like, what in the world?
We're live today at Greystone Golf Club, Brent Peterson's golf tournament, PD for Parkinson's, the Preds Foundation. Always a great cause, and kind of that unofficial start to the hockey season. PD's Preds party was last night, which was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed going to that. And a quick little piece of Preds news, they have re-signed Juuso Parson into a 1-year deal worth $775,000 as he split some time between Nashville and Milwaukee last year. So Parson is back with the Preds. But taking your reaction to the Titans loss 24-17 to the Bears yesterday. They had a 17-0 lead and blew it. Absolutely blew it. There's no other way to put it. And I put a majority of that, not all of it, but a majority of it on Will Levis and the offense. The offense really couldn't get anything going except for that one drive. But I mean, now it is, can they fix it? Can they rebound from this and fix it? And we've had overreactions all over the place. Some people calling for Mason Rudolph after one game. I'm not going to go that far. Some people are ready to, cut Will Levis and bring back Tannehill. I haven't seen any fire Callahan, but I'm sure that's out there. You know how that goes.
All right, so let me ask you this. At what point, I hate being the negative here, at what point would you replace Levis? 0-4? And you keep playing like this? 0-5, because you can't go. I mean, you can't go the whole season like this.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you're 0-4 or 0-5, I'm keeping him in. I mean, I am, because at that point, if he's going to be that bad, then just play for the pick. I know you don't like hearing that, but I mean, that's going to be my thought process.
I give him 0-4. If you're 0-4 and you've played bad, you can't keep him in. You just can't do it. You can't do that. You owe it to. I don't care about the fan base, all right? Because fan base, you're not winning and losing for me. I care about the players.
I don't care about this anymore because Bob Mueller's here. So
where is he?
He's right there. I mean, the legend, Bob Mueller is here.
He's
Look at him.
He's got his Diet Coke. He's got his hand on his hip.
He's ready to go. That man's a legend.
He's spinning around talking. Hey, how's it going? There's Bob Mueller here. Down there, Bob Mueller. Hey, look at him. He looks the part. I mean, that guy is over 70 years old. I wish I looked that good at 50.
He's a legend.
Good dude,
Absolute legend.
He's a good dude. And when I worked with him one time, he came into the sports offices. Hey, you got $1 I can borrow for a Diet Coke? I said, yeah. He's like, I'll pay you back. He never paid me back.
And that's okay.
It's okay. It's Bob Mueller.
So is it with interest now, Joe, or just without interest?
Not from $1 back.
I just see Joe walk over there and walk back. Goes, yeah, I just got $85 based on this.
Yeah, my favorite Bob Mueller story. One time we were walking out for dinner after one of the shows, and he goes to his car. He was driving a Land Cruiser. He's like, hey Joe, see that Land Cruiser? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, it's paid for. And he got in his car and he drove off. It wasn't trying to be a smart aleck, just making conversation. And then Bob was gone. But yeah, now you got me ruined, Chase. Damn it.
So I'm tweeting out right now at Chase on Game because I just want to see the response to this. And you guys can text in and call 615-737-1025. Have y'all given up on Will Levis?
That's a great question. Really, according to the text line, yes.
Like simple, yes or no. Have you given up on Will Levis? Because I can tell you right now, at 2:00, he's given up on Will Levis.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm calling it right now. The next show is going to be more of a discussion. I'm not ready to say I've given up on Will Levis yet. Have you given up on Will Levis?
I have not, but Jared probably sitting there like Dr. Evil yesterday when he threw that pass, like excellent, and then all that went with it. So I'm not, but if they're 0-4, he's done. I'm telling you, he's done. And you put in Mason Rudolph and you ride out the rest of the way because you've seen enough. Now you got 4 games. And don't give me this whole, you guys are killing me with this. Well, it's a new coordinator, new coach. They've been there since January, okay?
Right, but that's the first game.
And don't tell me, that's new terminology. How about this? You run, and I'll throw the ball to you. That's how you do things. Don't give me this new terminology garbage. We complicate football way too much, right? And they've been in practice with the new guys since May. It's, you know where to throw the ball and what to do. So don't give me this new coordinator, new coach, whatever. That's just a massive excuse that people use all the time. I want to get it done.
I want 5 people to call in. 615-737-1025. Have you given up on Will Levis? That's what I want to know.
Chase McCabe, have you given up on Will Levis?
No, not yet. I'm not ready to give up on him yet.
When will you give up on him? At what point? And I don't mean to do the hypotheticals, but at what point do you give up on him?
I don't know. I think I will know in that moment. I don't know. I mean, if he does what he did yesterday 3 more times, probably then.
Okay.
But conventional wisdom would tell you that play that he made where he threw the pick 6. My guess is he doesn't make that play. He doesn't make that mistake again. Now he might make another mistake that's just as bad, but that particular one, my guess is he doesn't make that again.
They're going to say, you do that again, we're cutting your arm off. So never do that again.
Let's go to the text line. 7070. The oh no is the same oh no when you wake up and see your dog is crapped in the house. 2221. The worst part of Levis was that he had a full offseason and didn't look drastically different in any aspect of his game. Still boneheaded plays and still getting himself killed. Andrew and Dover. I honestly still believe in Levis. The offensive line needs to come together, but a positive note, Simmons and Sweat are going to be a problem for the NFL. Favorite play, Simmons got triple teamed and left it wide open for Jones to get to Williams. Andrew from Dover. Now on the question of, have you given up on Levis? 1377, hell no. Kevin, yes. JD, sign TB12 out of the booth for a year or 2. Levis sucks. He sucked at UK, was a total goofball, and is socially unaware. Played golf with him several times in Lexington. He's not the guy.
Wait,
TB12 could win a lot with those weapons.
He's socially unaware?
Like, what does that matter?
You guys are great, man.
Andrew, I think we are in better shape with Levis than Green Bay with Malik. I tend to agree with that.
Yes.
Phil in Clarksville, we all have the highest hopes for Levis, but let's be realistic. He's not getting any better with his decision-making. Landon in Clarksville, haven't given up yet, but yesterday was a display of everything the critics have said about him. I'm rooting for him, but that was much worse than any bad game Tannehill had. I agree.
Yes.
1978. The only Levis I approve of at this time are the 509s that are on my ass right now.
Oh, yes.
2657. It's technically Will's what? 10th game. He's still a rookie making a stupid rookie mistake. Relax.
No, but you don't do that. Go back, watch the play again, and just see, like, Sanchez was correct. He's like, oh no, it's just that was the worst play I've ever seen. I think from a Titans quarterback, and also maybe from a Titan. I mean, just awful.
Yeah. 2409. No, not yet. Give him 3 to 4 weeks, and if it's still this bad, then yes.
I like that. I like that. I like it a lot.
30-32. Gary gave up on him when you drafted him. That's true. Lenny, I have not given up on Will. Dylan, Jared is going to be more measured than y'all are giving him credit for. He's been saying we're going to have to be patient. Dylan in Antioch, aka Jared's dad. 0247. Yes, I'm done. Seen enough. Wes in Clarksville.
This is amazing.
I believe in Levis. I don't believe in the O-line. I think the line was pressuring him, making the rookie mistakes. All right, I'm going to say no. Like, was the O-line wasn't great, but I don't think the O-line was awful.
Look,
I mean, when Radens, I can't believe I'm saying this. When Radens got hurt, they did take a step back.
Okay, I get you on that one, and also
there were some penalties. They need to.
You're
clean
going to
up.
get to the quarterback at least once or twice a game, so
Right.
to get the pressure on, that's fine. But there were a few plays Skoronski looked really, really, really bad.
Yeah,
really bad on it. And that's where you get the combo blocks, the center helping you. You get a back in there to help. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could deal with that and make it better. But for the most part, I thought I'd give the offensive line, I'd give them a B.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you on that. I loved your tweet yesterday about in-school suspension.
So defense gets a B, offense an F, and Will Levis gets in-school suspension.
That
for
was awesome.
That insanity.
Kevin says, would have been different if he had just had a bad game. When you have an iconic butt fumble play like Mark Sanchez that called the game, he will never live that down. That play will follow him the rest of his life. Talking about the pick six.
Yeah, you're right. And as we said earlier, we had a caller call in with, well, we should have kept Malik Willis. No, you shouldn't have kept Malik Willis. No. That's that just here. Let me ask you this too. Why don't teams, and this happens in college football, it's happened on pro, why does nobody take a deep shot down the field anymore? I would do 7 or 8 of those during a game.
They tried a couple yesterday.
God, he overthrew Ridley by like 15 yards, but that's like once or twice maybe.
Right.
Just throw the ball down the field. I mean, receivers are dying to get the football down the field like that. Air it out.
Here's the other thing. We haven't really talked about this yet. When are he and Ridley going to get on the same page?
Good point.
Paid this dude a ton of money to come here, and I like the signing, and you overpaid, and that's the price of doing business in the NFL. You would think by now they'd be on the same page. That play in the fourth quarter where I think it was supposed to be a back shoulder throw and Ridley just kept going, like, that stuff can't happen.
Right. Well, Ridley
I
did
get
have
it's the first game, but you guys have had time to work on that.
He had 3 catches for 50 yards, had a long one of 22, had 7 targets. The 22-yard pass was really good. Levis stepped into the pocket and just threw that ball with some oomph, and then Ridley caught it. And that was nice. You can find those all day long. And I'm surprised they went away from those little shallow crossing routes across the middle because your guys are open and everything like that. But I just think you have, at some points, you got to go deep. And you never know what happens. Things go on.
Yeah.
And, man, there's a lot to work on from this first game for the Titans as they get ready for the Jets on Sunday.
4-2-4-2. It depends on how he responds this next week. If he responds well, I'll still believe in him. Everybody's looking at the response. David in Arkansas, we can't give up on Levis after 10 games with last year's bad roster. Let's give him time to mesh. He obviously can't do the boneheaded plays, but it can be a learning situation for him. This fan base is so quick to give up on players. They all are. We are the Titans. We need to lower expectations. We aren't the Cowboys who think every year is their year. No offense, Chase. I quit thinking that a long time ago. Tom in Nashville, hot take, Dylan Radunz All-Pro was in the cards until injury. I mean,
that's a hot take, baby.
Andrew, Radunz literally looked better than Skoronski. WTF. I mean, at times he did.
But look what the Titans have done to us.
I know.
Look what
Jeff,
they've done to us.
Wow, 1 game into the season and people are already singing Billy Jeans is not my QB.
That's what happens.
Phil in Clarksville, big positive from yesterday. Our first 2 draft picks look fantastic. I'll say that. I thought Latham, he had a couple of mistakes. Thought he played a good game. I thought Sweat played a good game.
Who was the punt returner? That is Jackson.
Jaquan
Jackson?
No, Jaquan Jackson.
Jaquan, he had one I thought he was going to, and they caught his by the ankle, was going to take off. I think there's some positive with that young man going forward.
Yeah, I agree. 615-737-1025. We'll squeeze in a few more texts. If you got a call, we'll do that. Also, celebrity birthdays and what day is it? Live today at the Greystone Golf Club, Brent Peterson Golf Tournament. It is Chase and Big Joe. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe here on this Monday, a Reaction Monday. We're live at Greystone Golf Club here in Dixon, Tennessee. Well, Pete Weber's here making faces at me. I don't know exactly what that means, but
means he likes you.
Dr. Crane is at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Willie D. Mace, Adam joining them as well will continue reaction to the Titans' 24-17 loss. These texts have been great. You guys, your participation today, I hope it's a bit of a therapy session for everybody. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And we'll obviously have all week to talk about it. We'll get into a little more college stuff because it was a great weekend of college football, too.
It sure was, buddy.
Sorry about Notre Dame, Pete. He's not paying attention now.
He hears you. He just gave you a one-finger salute.
Yes, he did. 9234 says Callahan gets no blame for not adjusting. We have not exonerated the head coach. In fact, we started the show, like I wish he'd be more mad than he was.
Yeah.
Going in. And I know it's funny because you're right. I did get tired of Vrabel's pissiness, but there's a time and a place for it. Vrabel was just that way all the time. There's a time and a place that you just need to see emotion and reaction from your head coach.
You do, and I don't think we're going to see that from Callahan anytime soon. I'd be livid over Levis over what happened. I would be screaming.
Livid over Levis. I like that.
I would be screaming at him on the sideline. I mean, you go back. If you get time then you're bored, look up Ditka and Doug Flutie, Ditka and Jim Harbaugh when they played for the Bears, how he would just go. And look, today you're playing like, oh, that's not too nice. But he just went scorched earth on those guys. It's football. You need to do that. I hope at some point Callahan does that with Levis.
Brian Callahan's going to speak today at 11:30. What do you want to hear out of him today now that he's had time to go back and watch the tape?
We had some positives. We had some negatives. I'm mad. We lost. It's unacceptable. We'll go forward. If Will Levis does that again, I'm going to throw him into the Cumberland River.
What would you do? What would you do if he got up there and he was just like, we got to play better. We got to coach better.
I've always thought it would be great. If you're a head coach, get up there, you answer every question with a question. Like if Paul's like, hey, what about Levis? Can he do this? Do you have confidence in him? And Callahan's like, well, do you have confidence in him? You answer every question. After like 8 questions, you'll leave.
Yeah.
Rexrode and Paul aren't going to dig deep in the well for anything good, so they'll be done. They'll be done. It's over with.
They would know what to do with that.
Right.
But I mean, look, it is a fair question to ask today. That's why I asked it as plainly as I did. Have you given up on him? It's 10 games. He's not even a full season into his career as a starter. It's 10 games. And yes, there's bad. There's good, but there's bad. And there's got to be more consistency on the good side. That's what I need to see. And we just haven't to this point.
Right. Yeah. Steven's like, we owe Simmons an apology. I don't owe Simmons an apology for anything. You're supposed to be one of the best linemen in the league. Show it. And you showed it yesterday. I'm not apologizing to you.
I don't acknowledge his tweets anymore.
We don't apologize. Also, we're team no delete either, man. We go forward.
Okay, fine. I feel like I'll owe Simmons an apology. Defense played together, and they were great. Sad their effort was wasted. Might be a long season, but I don't think any of it will be Simmons' fault.
Nope.
We praised the defense, Steven.
We did, baby.
So stick that in your narrative.
That's right.
Let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list, I just looked at it. There's one I cannot pronounce, but hopefully I'll get through it. We have Care Bears Share Your Care Day.
Yes.
Oh, man, these days.
We're trying.
On the top of it day. I mean, I guess I'm on top of it, sort of. I don't know. This one is on the edge here. International Buy a Priest a Beer Day. So I don't know if that's
you're Catholic. What does that mean?
I guess that's a good thing. I don't know.
Don't ask me. I'm a Protestant.
Okay.
Pete might know.
Hey, keep going.
Today is International Buy a Priest a Beer Day. Is that okay? Okay, Pete says it's mandatory.
Okay,
so we're good with that.
That sounds good. International Sudoku Day. That's where you.
Oh, I
play
love
with
Sudoku.
Yep. Let's do this. National I Love Food Day. This is a great.
Oh,
day.
we love food. This
Daily.
show loves food.
This is for you.
It's I
Chase.
Love Food Day.
There you go. This is for you, Chase. National Boss Employee Exchange Day. How about that?
Oh, okay.
He's had a few of those recently. Oh, man.
Oh,
Next.
dude, this is the one I can't pronounce. National Steak Ayaporve Day.
Who?
I don't know. It looks delicious. though.
Ayaporve. Isn't that some girl you met in Panama City?
No, that's Pam. That's different. Yeah. We also have National Teddy
They
Bear
did
Day.
woodworking.
Yep, we did woodworking together. National Wiener Schnitzel Day. That's today.
Watch your mouth.
It's National Wiener Schnitzel Day. Wiener Schnitzel is what Pete says.
Pronounce it properly. Excuse me, Pete. Testers Day, and then to round it all off, it's Wonderful Weirdos Day.
Which nation?
Love that. All right, time for celebrity birthdays.
Listen, this is what Pete said
Which nation?
for Wiener Schnitzel.
I believe it's Germany.
Germany. There you go. He approves. All right, celebrity birthdays.
All right, our first birthday is Joe Theismann. How old
Ooh.
is Joe Theismann today?
71.
77.
He's 75. Dr. Craig's up
75.
1-0.
Wow.
Walter Davis, former North Carolina All-American basketball player.
Walter Davis. 63.
61.
70. Bob Stoops. Today's his birthday.
65.
63.
64. We're tied at 1.
That was a
Dan.
push. Whoa, it's a
That was a
push.
push.
Oh, was it? All
Yeah.
right. Who? All right. So it's 1-0, Dr. Crane. Dan Marley.
Who's Dan Marley?
Played in the NBA for many years for the Phoenix Suns.
58.
59.
59 exactly.
Oh, wow,
Dr. Crane's up
59.
3-0.
Yeah.
Todd Zeal, former baseball player.
Oh man, Todd Zeal. 60.
67.
59. 3-1, Dr. Crane. One of the best point guards ever in NBA, I think, B.J. Armstrong from Doubles.
63.
60.
57. Shane. Now here, this is the last one. Shane Battier, former Duke All-American.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Won a national championship with him in 2001. Shane Battier.
I need Adam for this. 48.
I'm gonna go 50 on the dot.
46.
Oh,
That's it. Chase, you lose. Dr. Crane, you win 3-2.
oh, there we go.
Well done.
That is going to do it for us. And by the way, guys, we love the interaction with all of you. Your response has been received of what you feel about this show, and we love you guys just as much as you love us. So we appreciate it. That is for sure. That is going to do it for us, though, live from Greystone. Willie and D-Mace coming up next.
Always love the interaction. And to our guys out there, again, it's Monday. You get through the Sunday scaries. We'll do it together on your cell phone. You can dial 988 and talk to someone anytime. You can talk to us. Before you do anything rash, please talk to us. We're here for you forever. Know that we love you. As we always say, God has you on this earth for a specific purpose that only you can fulfill. Your journey is beautiful. Know that if something happened, you'll be tremendously missed. And know that we tremendously love you guys. Keep going and keep being strong.
Amen to that. Willie and D-Mace with Adam Ving, and continue the reaction next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.